Hello and welcome to this video. On this video I'm doing a tutorial. It's a t-shirt dress with ruffles at the bottom and at the sleeves. That's how it's looking. It also has a belt that I just tied around my waist with. That's how it is. I used a cotton fabric, a tie and dyed cotton fabric. Yes. So let me cue in my intro and then we will start. So these are the materials that I used. Just my fabric, tape measure. I used some sewing thread. You need your scissors and of course a sewing machine for this project. So first thing, I'm folding it in. It's like 11 inches folded because of my hips. I don't want to waste any fabric, so my hip measurement will be accounted for with the 11 inch fold. So the first measurement is the shoulder, that's 7.5, half shoulder, then going down 9 inches for the bust and also the armhole, then across from there measuring my bust measurement. A quarter of my bust measurement is 9. I'm adding 10 to that for allowance, sewing allowance as well as ease allowance, and I'm just carving that into the shoulder like so. Next measurement is the bodice, which is the neck to the waist measurement, not neck, shoulder to waist, that's 15, and from the 15 mark I'm measuring 9 inches, which is my waist to hip measurement. So I'm going to ignore the waistline and go straight to the hip line, and I'm going to put in my hip measurement, which is 10, and I'm drawing it at 11 for ease and sewing allowance. Next, I'm going to measure the length of the dress, which is 30 inches, and I'm just going to mark there and draw the hem of the dress to complete it. You would need a ruler for such as a line, but you know, I'm just eyeballing, I guess, used to it, I guess. But it would be nice to use a ruler at this point. So from there, I'm going to connect that hemline to the waistline. Later on, I brought it in a bit because I wanted it to fit pencil, and the way it is right now, it really fits baggy from the waist downwards. So keep that in mind. Then from the hip line, I just connected it to the armhole in a straight line because I don't want it to be fitted at the waist, so it's going to be a bit baggy at the waistline. Next, I'm doing the neckline, and that's 2 inches going down and 3 inches across to create the neckline, and I'm just carving it freehand. These curves, you can actually use a curved ruler, but I don't have one at the moment. There, I brought it down 1 inch at the edge of the shoulder and just connected it. Now I'm going to cut it through. So that was the back, and we are going to do the front now. Because the back and the front are really quite similar, I'll just use the pattern that I've already cut for the back to create the front, and the difference for the front is just going to be the neckline, because the neckline at the front is going to be cut a little lower. But as you can see, I'm just putting it directly on the fabric, and I'm going to just cut it exactly the same way, except I'll bring down the neckline, the front neckline, by around 3 inches. So it's going to be 5 inches at the center front and the same 3 inches across. So there at the neckline, 5 inches. And then 3 inches across the fabric. And just curve it, finesse the curve. So I'm going to be cutting the sleeve now. Just measured my arm to see how much fabric I'd need. And so I folded it at around 12 inches. And this is actually a shortcut to how I cut my sleeves. I don't know, I don't recommend it, but like my armhole is 8.5 inches, so the diagonal line you see I had drawn there is 8.5 inches, and then I curve the lower half inwards and the upper half outwards, and that's just how the shortcut I used to create my sleeves, and they work well. I don't know, if you want you can use the method. So just measure your armhole from the dress you had made, measure your arm, ensure that your arm is taken care of here, and then curve your sleeve, and there you have it. So those are two sleeves, and now I'm showing you the rest of the fabric that I cut off for the ruffles. This one is 40 inches by 5 inches. 40 inches by 5 inches, and I have 2 of them for the bottom ruffle that is going to go on the dress. Around 1 inch will be for the hem, and 0.5 inches will be for the seam going into the dress. So finally it's going to be about 3.5 inches of ruffle. The ruffles for the sleeves are 20 inches by 4 inches, and of course I have 2 pieces for the 2 sleeves. And then I have the sash for the belt. This is, you don't have to do the belt, but I decided to do it. It's 60 inches by 5 inches. So yeah, and then these ones I cut on bias. Bias means diagonally, so that they have a bit of stretch, and I'm going to use them as binding for the neckline. So to start the tutorial, I'll start by sewing the shoulders. After the shoulders are done, that's how it's looking, and we are going to now attach the sleeve. Make sure you mark a notch at the top of the sleeve so that you can sew it in place perfectly. Anyway, so I'm just going to sew in the sleeves first for both sides. After the sleeves are done, we are ready to sew the side seam. That's how it looked after sewing the side seam. You can wear your t-shirt dress already like that, but I really wanted the ruffles, so I'm going to be continuing with this. But you, at this point, you can actually hem it and you'll have a t-shirt dress. Hey, hey. So starting off with the ruffles, just create gathers on them like so, and then complete that piece of fabric, and then you'll just attach it to the sleeve and then hem it. So you'll do this for both the sleeves and also the ruffle at the bottom. Create gathers, make sure that the gather and the sleeve are equal, like in length, and then attach it on. After that's done, just hem the sleeve. So these are the pieces for the bottom ruffles, and the process is just going to be similar with what I did with the sleeve. Create gathers, okay, these were two pieces, so I had to join them before creating the stitches for gathers. To create gathers, just set your machine to the longest stitches and then make stitch lines. You can make one line or two, and then after you're done, you start pulling on one end, one string from one end, and then just pull them to create the gathers until you like how it's looking and it fits with where you want to attach it. Then you can go ahead and attach it to the hem. And then after that's done, hem the dress, and this is actually the last step and the dress will be done. Oh wait, I had forgotten the neckline. This is attaching the binding. So on the wrong side of the dress, uh put the right side of the binding. So wrong side of the dress, right side of the dress kissing. Then just sew along that neckline, and then after you're done, you're going to fold it to the right side like the way I'm doing right now, to create like a finished edge. Or if this process is too long for you, you can just hem the neckline like regularly how you hem stuff. But the binding looks really nice for me. I've just finished pinning it and I'm going to sew around it. That's how it's looking. Ain't it pretty? And then this is just the sash or belt that I decided to add on. You can do without this, but I just folded in the fabric, which was 60 inches by 5 inches, and then sewed around the edges, left one edge open, then did the inside out thing using a ruler. And yeah, now I had my belt. I just had to like finish the edge left open and I was done. So after all that hard work, this is what I came up with. Thank you for watching, and yes, be blessed. So obviously on this channel we do DIYs, but I like talking a lot because I'm really opinionated and I talk about stuff happening in Kenya. So if you really don't like that content, please just don't watch it maybe, but don't unsubscribe for me because I'm still making nice DIYs, or I believe they're nice. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Come again. Bye.